want to encourage the person out there who is thinking about starting a business, or this guy in Ontario who wanted to raise the bar in his area. And how do you do that?
Yeah.
One, I think there's some clear steps. First of all, you've got to practice in a number of different areas. Okay. And so let's just say you're starting out, and I don't want to chase this rabbit too far, but let's just say you're starting out and it's friends and family first, right? Hey, Joe's, he's going to start doing carpentry. You know how he's always been good at carpentry. He's going to start that thing. And so friends and family say, yeah, well, have him come build me a deck and I can fix the fence, right? And so he's corralled himself into a area of work that he's going to be doing decks and fences, right? But how does he, he's going to have to step out of that arena.
Yeah.
He's going to have to go work for some home builders, and those home builders may be production builders to start.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to, in order to make money, he's going to have to be very fast. And he's not going to have to worry. He's not going to be able to worry as much about how tight his joints are, but he's got to be fast. And then he gets tired of that world. He goes over to custom build world, and he says, these guys care more about quality. I get to put more moldings in, more trim in. They still care about speed, but I've learned speed. Okay, and so
you're getting less reps that way, right? You're doing less. More like in a production build house, you are cutting, 5,000 times a day versus a custom one.
But the production one, you'd be doing less moldings, smaller moldings,
right,
less. Right. And custom one, you conceivably doing more built-up crowns and things like that.
Right.
My point is that I don't want the guy to be discouraged when he's still in the friends and family plan, thinking, how do I encourage craft? How do I build really great things? When you just haven't seen enough, you haven't done enough, you haven't experienced enough. The thing that I challenged you when we first met was, and I was pointing at Richard, why are you doing this? Why are you working for these people and these customers and these things? And it was a challenge to get out of that world and come to our world, come to see to do stuff we're doing. And I think it's made you a more happy craftsman. Sometimes we get stuck. And I think one of the first challenges of making money in this thing is to not get stuck in a rut.
Richard, how was your magic carpet ride to the whole new world that Brent showed you?
When you don't see the value in what you're doing, it can actually become depressing. And you said stuck in a rut. I feel like I was probably right there. I feel like when we met, it was kind of like a perfect storm.
Yeah.
Where I was really close to just being I kind of want to do something else. I have maxed this out. It's kind of boring.
Yeah.
I've kind of mastered this production side of it.
Yeah.
It's just what really more is there to do? And then when I came to that class, that first building and brew thing, I stepped into this exact room and I was like, oh, there's a lot more to do. I'm looking at these paneled walls and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, I was a big fish in a little pond.
Yeah.
But it was cool because I realized I was a big fish in a little pond, and it made me want to jump to the next bigger body of water.
Yeah.
Where I'm not such a big fish, but there's a lot more growing to do, So yeah, it definitely lit a fire in me when I started seeing this stuff. And from my position, I would say I was always pushing towards the direction of craft, and I have my own business now for 10 years. And as far as like making money as a craftsman, I was able to do it, you know, without doing super high quality things. It was just I always saw that there was something better though. Yeah. Like even starting off, I remember looking at molding catalogs and being like, man, we're always putting this base in. Like, look at this base. And it's still like an MDF piece, but it's bigger. It just looked cooler. I've always had like an interest in the next thing.